Hello students, in today's session we are going to learn about the theoretical and the practical aspect of histology of urinary system. In urinary system we have got three major organs to be studied for the microscopic view, that is the kidney, ureter and urinary bladder. First, beginning with the kidney. As we know grossly that kidney is covered by a capsule, and that capsule is made up of outer layer of dense connective tissue and inner layer of myofibroblast. When we cut the kidney in a coronal manner and we open up the kidney, we will be able to find the parenchyma made up of the outer cortex and inner medulla. The medulla is in the form of pyramids. This you already know in your gross lectures. Also, the part of the cortex between the pyramids, it is called as the renal columns. The part of the cortex which is lying over the pyramid on the outer side, it forms a very striated appearance, that is called as the medullary rays. And the part of the kidney between the around the pyramid, the consisting of the pyramid and its adjacent cortex, that is called as the renal lobe, whereas the medullary ray, individual medullary ray along with the surrounding cortical tissue, that is called as the kidney lobe. So these are the multiple one-liners or terminologies which you should remember. What is medullary rays, what is renal columns, renal lobe, kidney lobe. Mainly the kidney is covered on the outer side by a capsule and the parenchyma is made up of outer cortex and inner medulla. Now before going into what is cortex, what is seen in the cortex, what is seen in the medulla, we will first let us see what is present basically inside the kidney, which structures forms the major part of the kidney. So it is formed by uriniferous tubule. Now uriniferous tubules consist of three components: the nephron, which is the basic structural and the functional unit of the kidney, the collecting tubule and the collecting duct. So these are the three structures which together form a uriniferous tubule, and there are lots and so many uriniferous tubules present inside the kidney. Now first we will study about the nephron. So nephron basically is the basic structural and the functional unit of kidney. It consists of renal corpuscle, proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle, distal convoluted tubule. So now we will see each component again in details. So first, the renal corpuscle, also known as the Malpighian corpuscle. It consists of two basic parts, the Bowman's capsule and the glomerulus. So uriniferous tubule has got three parts: the nephron, collecting tubule and the collecting duct. Again, nephron has got renal corpuscle, proximal convoluted tubules, loop of Henle. Again, loop of Henle has got the thick descending part, thin descending part, the loop itself, thin ascending part and thick ascending part. Then it has got the distal convoluted tubules. Again, in the renal corpuscle we have got two parts, the Bowman's capsule and the glomerulus. Now this renal corpuscle are of two types. First, cortical, which is present in the outer part of the cortex and from where the loop goes into the outer part of the pyramid. And second is the juxtamedullary, that is present near the pyramid. So the loop of the Henle of this renal corpuscle will go deep up to the apex of the pyramid of the kidney. Again, Bowman capsule is found of outer parietal layer, which is a simple squamous epithelium, and inner visceral layer, which is formed by the cells called as the podocytes. Now here the podocytes and the podocytes have got space between their food processes. It is not a continuous lining. There is a gap present between the food process of the podocytes, and the space between the outer parietal layer and the inner visceral layer, it is called as the urinary space. So that is about the Bowman's capsule. Now within the cup of the Bowman's capsule there will be the tufts of capillaries, or you can say formed by the afferent arteriole and the efferent arteriole, and the endothelium of these arterioles is fuses with the podocytes and forms a common membrane, that is we call it as the glomerular basement membrane. Apart from that, renal corpuscle has got two poles, vascular pole from where there is a afferent arteriole divides into capillaries, and the urinary pole, that is at the level of the towards the side of the proximal convoluted tubules, where there is collection of the urine, the filtrate. So there is a filtration barrier. How it is formed? It is formed of three components. First, the endothelium of the capillaries, which is formed by the afferent arteriole. It is fenestrated. Fenestrated means it is having openings. So this openings in the endothelium of the capillaries is of the size of 7 to 90 nm diameter, and it consists of one receptors that is called as aquaporin 1, which allows fast transport of the water through it. Apart from that, there is the glomerular basement membrane, which is formed by the fused basal lamina of the capillary endothelium and the visceral layer, that is the podocytes, and it consists of type 4 and type 18 collagen along with the proteoglycans and the glycoproteins. Third component of the filtration barrier is the filtration slit membrane. So there is the basement membrane over which there is an endothelium, and there is a space between the food processes of the podocytes. So between the food processes of the adjacent podocytes, there is a space of almost 25 nm to 4 by 6 nm thickness and width, and it is formed by the transmembrane protein nephrin. So these two together, the fenestrated endothelium, three together, the fenestrated endothelium, glomerular basement membrane, and the filtration slit membrane. These three are the components of filtration barrier. Now filtration barrier is very much important for selective transport of waste products or whatever molecules from the tufts of the capillaries to the urinary space, that is for the proper filtration formation of the urine. Then all these things, the tufts of the capillaries which are present within the cup of the Bowman's capsule, it is kept together by a tissue called as mesangium, and this mesangium is nothing but the group of mesangial cells along with the extracellular fluid. So there are two types of mesangial cells: extraglomerular, which is present at the vascular pole, and intraglomerular, which is present within the renal corpuscle. The main function of the mesangial cells is to do phagocytosis. Whatever the filtration is taking place at the level of the filtration barrier, out of that, if there is harmful molecules going inside, or macrophages or anything is going inside, organisms are getting filtered, it catches them and does the phagocytosis. It helps in turnover of the basal lamina. So they act basically as the you can say stem cells for the turnover of the basal lamina. It is contractile in nature. That's why it regulates glomerular filtration rate. It helps in synthesis of interleukin 1 and platelet derived growth factors, and also provides support to the podocytes. So that is about the mesangial cells. Now we come to the individual part. What is present in cortex? What is present in medulla? And this will help in identifying the slide of the kidney in the exam. So cortex consists of renal corpuscle, that is the Bowman's capsule, and the you can say the glomerulus, then the proximal convoluted tubules, distal convoluted tubules, and the proximal part of the collecting tubule. So these are the structures which are seen in the cortex. So if you want to show it schematically, this is the entire renal corpuscle. This is the visceral layer, the inner visceral layer, which is formed by the podocytes. Here the endothelium of the fenestrated endothelium along with the podocytes and the glomerular basement membrane will be forming the filtration slit barrier, and this is the outer layer, parietal layer, which is formed by the simple squamous epithelium. So this is the entire corpuscle, that is the Bowman's capsule, and the glomeruli. The glomerulus is formed by the afferent arterioles, the capillaries of the afferent arterioles, which break down into the capillaries here. Apart from that, we can see the proximal convoluted tubules, we can see the distal convoluted tubules, and these are the collecting tubules. So these are the structures which can be seen in the cortex of the kidney. If we see the slide, it is very easy to identify. If you see a slide where on the one side of the slide there are this type of round collections, very tough like collections, those collections are there. These are nothing but the glomeruli, and that suggests that this is a slide of the cortex of the kidney, and that's why you can easily identify the slide of the kidney in the exam. Yes, other structures are present surrounding them, but the glomeruli along with this Bowman's capsule, that is the renal corpuscle basically, can be easily identified in the cortex of the kidney in the histology slide. Medulla consists of the thick and the thin segments of the loop of the Henle, that is the thick descending, thin descending, loop itself, thin ascending and thick ascending. So this thick part, thick descending part and thick ascending part, they will be similar to the convoluted tubules near them. The thick descending part will be similar to the proximal convoluted tubules in look and as well as in the structure, whereas thick ascending limb will be similar to the distal convoluted tubules. Apart from that, there will be collecting ducts present there and also the vasa rectas, that is the blood vessels. If we see the structure of them individually, the proximal convoluted tubules is 60 micron in diameter and it is lined by simple columnar or cuboidal epithelium with brush border with microvilli present, and it is present only in cortex. Whereas distal convoluted tubule is smaller to it. It is 15 to 20 micron in diameter. Even in length also, the distal convoluted tubule is half the size of the proximal convoluted tubule. So epithelium of the distal convoluted tubule is similar to the proximal convoluted tubule, but there are less microvilli present and the basal infoldings are very prominent in the distal convoluted tubules. If we see the loop of Henle, thick descending limb is having simple cuboidal epithelium like the proximal convoluted tubules, and thick ascending limb is having simple cuboidal like that of distal convoluted tubules. Collecting tubules has got 40 micron in diameter and also they are lined by simple cuboidal to low columnar epithelium. This is just a theoretical part, you need to just remember them individually. There is nothing much to discuss about it in details. This is the slide of the renal medulla part of the kidney. So it shows this large number of tubules and collecting ducts which cannot be differentiated very individually, and it is very easy can be differentiated from the cortex of the kidney. Next is the juxtaglomerular apparatus, or we call it as the JG apparatus. It consists of three types of cells: macula densa cells, JG cells, that is the juxtaglomerular cells, and the mesangial cells. Coming to the ureter, the second one. Now ureter is very easy to identify in exam also, in slide also. This is the picture of the histology slide of the ureter. If you take a photo, see in the 4x, you will be able to see the entire structure as a very small tubular structure. If you see the slide from outside, it will be a dot like structure in the slide, and if you further go and see in the 10x, you will be able to identify the transitional epithelium which is present in the luminal side of the ureter along with the layer of the smooth muscle cells, muscle layer on the outer side. So it is consisting of three layers. From inside out, the mucosa, which is lined by the transitional epithelium. Then the lamina propria is very wide in it, and there are numerous muscular folds which leads to star-shaped lumen of the ureter. The muscle layer is consisting of inner longitudinal and outer circular layer of the smooth muscles. So smooth muscle layer is consisting of inner longitudinal and outer circular layer of smooth muscles, and the adventitia on the outermost side, it is the loose connective tissue layer containing blood vessels, nerves and fat. So this is it, the inner mucosa layer, which is consisting of the transitional epithelium. This is the large lamina propria, which is thrown into folds, which leads to an irregular appearance of the lumen, which is said to be the star-shaped lumen. And on the outer side, we have got the muscle layer, which is inner longitudinal and outer circular. So that is about the histology of the ureter, and the slide is very easy to identify. And if you see in the magnified view, you can easily see the transitional epithelium. So this is the transitional epithelium. You can see it. This is the transitional epithelium here. This is the slide of the urinary bladder. Again, it is also got the transitional epithelium with a thick muscle layer which is irregularly arranged. So in urinary bladder, we have got the three layers. From inside out, mucosa is lined by the transitional epithelium, muscle layer which is inner and outer longitudinal layer, and in between circular and obliquely arranged smooth muscles which forms the sphincter vesicae and the detrusor muscles. Serosa or adventitia is peritoneum or serosa covers, and it covers the outer surface and remaining part is covered by the adventitia. So that is about the urinary bladder. So this is the schematic diagram. This is the epithelium. This is the irregularly arranged multiple in random arrangement of muscles is there. Although it is said it is inner and outer longitudinal and middle circular and oblique, but they are not clearly well defined in the urinary bladder. So that is about the histology of urinary bladder.